are, the round of 4 in the GSL.
How you doing, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you
excellent.
doing with your handsome new haircut?
I'm doing good, man.
I can't wait for the camera to get on here.
I'm getting all hot and bothered by the way you're talking,
man.
Artosis. I'm Tasis. With me is Artosis. This is the GSL.
Look at that
Codas.
new haircut on that
Take it
guy
all
right
in.
there. All the guys want to be him and all the girls want to date him. Some of the girls want to be him and some of the guys want to date him. It doesn't even matter.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
We're here at the round of 4, man. We've come so far.
We have, once again, another round of 4. Will we have an amazing round of 4 like we sometimes do? Last time, not so much, but all the other round of 4s were pretty sick and epic.
Generally, our round of 4s are pretty damn good. Although I do think in this case there's a possibility that this round of 4 will be pretty one-sided in both games. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. But in this case, with the first TVT and the second TVZ, I might be a little bit crazy to think otherwise, Artosis.
You might be a little bit crazy, Tasteless.
I might already be crazy anyways, but I think that prediction I said was right. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing excellently. I'm so excited about this round of 4. Will we have a TVT Finals? We have 2 former champions in the top 4. It's GSL, guys. Only so many people can win. It's either, I mean, if MVP or Polt win, that's insane.
Yeah.
And odds are one of them is actually going to win.
I think that is correct. Polt, also known as Optimus, he's got quite the reputation behind him. He's definitely a player who's just so solid, especially in Terran versus Terran. His opponent, top going into this, I think he's good, but the question is, can he take out somebody as good as Optimus?
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. It is hot out here in Seoul, Korea, Artosis.
It is, but it's also quite nice. It's not raining anymore.
It's not as bad as it's been.
We're about
last
to
week.
enter that 2 weeks of beautiful weather that we get each fall.
Speaking of beautiful weather, this is beautiful weather music playing right now. Look at that. Time to take this blazer off, I think. Not that you're going to get to see that too late. The Pepsi event is on our screen. Here we are in this picture. At the bottom right is the Mustard Archon, the one day that we actually both wore yellow.
I was so embarrassed when I saw you in that
we
yellow
actually
shirt.
didn't plan that. We both showed up at work with yellow shirts. We're like, oh, God. Send in a picture of yourself with a Pepsi product. Pepsi, of course, our lovely sponsor. Send them in, the good pictures we'll be putting on the website. It's a great little event, little contest to participate in. Please don't be boring when you send in the picture. Don't be like you got your Pepsi and there's just like Doritos all over you.
Actually, that would be a good picture because we say it so much. That'd be a great picture. Send that one in.
Don't just have you with the Pepsi like this, not with the Doritos all over yourself.
Yeah.
Are Doritos a Pepsi product?
I think so.
Okay.
PepsiCo owns like half the world. So
I think they do.
I know that Taco Bell is a Pepsi product.
That's why you can see Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. Like a Kentucky Hut? Do they have those back in
Kentucky Huts?
Yeah, no. Those back up in the Northeast.
Blasphemy! What are you talking about? Not
no,
in New Hampshire.
they can have them, all 3 of them together in
we
one
have
place.
zoning laws, Tasteless. Jeez, where are
now
you
where
from?
I come from, man,
Yeah.
that is heavenly though. That stuff. By the way, check out us at the finals. As you can see at the bottom of your screen there, it's going to be this weekend. It should be pretty cool. Location right down there. Finals always a lot of fun, and this is of course going to be the 1-year anniversary. Oh, we're going to have to go on our, the honeymoon or whatever we do for the anniversary?
Oh, that's right. I have to, buy you a diamond?
Something like that. We got to go, on this vacation to the mountains, but then we're together too much, so we start to get in a fight, and then I'm crying, and I'm like, things aren't how they were before. But then I start crying, even harder, and then I hug you, and then I'm like, thank God we're together. And then we go back to casting the GSL. It's
going to be
probably
awesome.
what we're going to do.
I'm going to bring you somewhere nice, Tasteless.
Thank you, Artosis.
Bring you out for some fondue.
Yeah?
Bring you to a nice little love motel.
Please.
Yeah. Watch some movies on the pay-per-view.
You're going to have to get me a bottle of wine and turn on Amelie.
Yes.
That's the kind of girl I am, Artosis.
Why do girls
You're like,
love that
oh,
movie?
honey, we watched Amelie 3 times. Really?
Never finish it, Tasteless. I fall asleep or leave the room.
Yeah, Amelie's that movie that when you're with your girlfriend, you end up drinking so much wine because you're just trying to get through it that by the end you don't know what happened. And she's like, didn't you like that? And you're like, yeah, baby. That was great.
Very touching.
We're going to have to do that for our 1-year anniversary. I can't wait. Now let's go to the player interview and see what our players are thinking going into this.
것처럼 12칸이 채워졌습니다. 그리고 이제 13번째 칸을 채우기 위해서 4명의 선수들이 준비를 하고 있는데요. 오늘 첫 번째 경기에 나서는 2명의 선수를 먼저 만나보도록 하겠습니다.
Alright, now we're moving on to the first player interview here, which wanted to display the
안녕하세요,
GSL
조정훈
fame.
선수.
안녕하세요.
네, 김정훈 선수도 반갑습니다.
안녕하세요.
On the left, OGS top. On the right,
경기를
Polt,
소감 안
also
물어볼
Optimus
수
Prime.
없겠죠. 먼저 최성훈 선수. 네, 뒤쪽에 보시면은 지난 슈퍼 토너먼트죠. 네, 감회가 좀 새로우실 것 같아요. 어떠신가요?
그때 기분을 다시 한번 느끼고 싶은데 마땅히 좋은 기회가 정말 찾아온 것 같아요. 지금.
He has a photo back
정말
with the
좋은
Super
기회라고 할 수가 있겠는데
Tournament Championship.
반면에
He wants
김정훈
another one up there.
선수 저 모습을 보면 또 어떤 생각이 드십니까? 저 사진의 주인공이 김정훈 선수가 분명히 될 수가 있었거든요.
네, 그래도 최정 선수가 그때는 잘하셨기 때문에 이긴 거라고 생각하고요. 그래도 오늘은 제가 이기도록 하겠습니다.
좀 아쉬움이 남진 않으셨어요? 저번 결과에 대해서.
He wants so badly to beat
아쉬움은
Optimus
되게 많이
and
컸죠.
get his photo on that wall.
그래도 다시 한번 기회가 왔으니까 이번 기회를 놓치지 않도록 열심히 해야겠죠.
네, 알겠습니다. 그리고 이제 두 선수가 이제 경기를 또 함께 하게 되는데 최성훈 선수, 김정훈
There's
선수는
a good
어떤
chance for
선수가
him to be in
같아요?
the finals here
칭찬
for the first time.
한마디
He's going to take
해주시죠.
that chance.
코드 S 기록을 보면 상당히 꾸준한 선수예요. 꾸준하다는 건 그 자체로 실력이 있다는 걸 뜻하니까 오늘은 좀 쉽지 않은 경기가 될 것 같습니다.
네, 김정훈
OGS top is a very steady
선수도
player and
최성훈
he
선수에
performs
대한
well in the
장점
GSL. So
또
today's match
칭찬
is
한번
not
해주시죠.
going to be easy.
되게 스타일리시하고 되게 공격적인 선수라서 굉장히 제가 본받아야 될 점도 많고
Optimus is a very unique player
네,
and has a very
두
aggressive
선수
play
공통점이
style.
또 있죠. 굉장히 많은 여성 팬들을 보유하고
we're going into this
있습니다.
match.
마지막으로 많은 팬들, 특히 여성 팬분들에게 한 말씀씩 좀 부탁드릴게요. 먼저 최성훈 선수.
Any comments to your
오늘
fans?
멋있는 경기 보여드리고 결승전 때 정말 화려한 경기 보여드리도록 약속드리겠습니다.
네, 원래도 멋있는데 경기까지 또 멋있게 해주신다는 말씀이죠.
I will show great matches today and at the finals after I win today.
응원해주신 팬분들께 정말 감사드리고 그 응원에 꼭 보답하는 오늘 경기력으로 이기도록 하겠습니다.
네, 자, 결승전
Thank you for
한 자리
supporting me.
먼저 이제 1경기에서 한 자리
I'll try my
결정되는데
best to
두
win today.
선수들 앞으로 나와서 또 악수를 한번 해주시고 경기를 진행하도록 하겠습니다. 눈빛 교환도 또 살짝 해주시죠. 눈빛 싸움 말고 눈빛 교환을 살짝. 알겠습니다. 자, 두 선수 경기장으로 입장해 주십시오.
All right.
Wow.
They are sending the players out now.
Tasteless.
As I look to my left, I see them walking into the room. Somebody's got to win that GSL trophy that we have a shot of now. And only one of these two players is going to be that much closer to getting it.
Well, here they are in all their glory. We do see that actually, take a look at who they beat on the way here. Both had pretty hard roads overall. In fact, Polt already beat Slayer's MMA 2-1, the guy he beat in his finals. So that's kind of interesting. In fact, wasn't Top versus Optimus, I believe that was the same round of 4 as Optimus went through in the Super Tournament, I'm pretty sure.
I think that is correct.
Yeah.
I can't verify you on that one, but I believe you're correct on that.
It's all right, Tasteless, I'm already verified. We
least
see
you are on
that
Twitter.
the road here by Top, taking out his teammate, Zenio, taking out Genius. Genius getting pretty deep this season, but you know, both of them look pretty similar as far as difficulty, I would say.
If you look here at Optimus's record, there's a lot of Terrans he had to take out to get this far. That's actually very telling about his Terran versus Terran in general. If you take a look over here on the right at Tops, you know, he did take on Alive. But, you know, Zenio and Genius, that's a Zergan of Protoss. So that's not to say that Optimus is better, but we do have more results showing that Optimus can win in a Terran versus Terran.
Well, I think anyone here can win in a TVT. They're both quite good. How much mech will we see? Will Optimus continue to try to punish people with Marauders and Marines? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we're going to find out pretty soon here. I think what Top said was very true about Optimus' playstyle. It's very unique, so he's a little bit more difficult to play against. I think Top is somebody who's overall more of a macro Terran, more of an established, you know, a middle of the road a way of playing the game. So this should be pretty interesting.
Quite true. We see here 7-3 and 6-4 in their TVT matches. Top looks like he's been riding a horse. Optimus looks like he's a Johnny Cage player.
He does.
Who will win?
Top, seriously, looks like he's been riding a horse in that picture. Like, he's been riding him since he's a child. Now he's bow-legged, man. That's rough.
Well, you know, it matters, Tasteless.
Imagine playing StarCraft on a horse.
That would be pretty difficult.
That'd be difficult.
Imagine playing on a horse with a trackball instead of a mouse.
Oh, God. You're stressing me out. You're giving me anxiety. All right. Well, we got Optimus on the left and Top on the right. And let me tell you something. Nothing hurts harder than losing in the round of 4. You're so close to so much notoriety getting there to the finals. And you don't end up getting it because you're knocked out just like that. As you can see, the maps they eliminated, Optimus taking out Zelnagra Fortress. I'm not shocked by that. That's a real bitch of a map in Terran versus Terran. On the right, Belshire Beach. That surprises me a little bit here from Top for a TDT.
Yeah, that's a little bit odd. I guess he just doesn't like it. You know, I just thought of something amazing. There are some players out there that do use trackballs and even track pads instead of mice. If you're one of those players, change your ID to Elephant.
Why?
Because then they're like, what? Why don't you use a mouse? You're like, I'm Elephant, man. I'm afraid of mice.
Ooh.
Bam.
Bam.
Done.
One more notch on the GSL joke belt, Artosis. Well done.
Tasteless, the belt is about to fray apart. I've had so many jokes.
You're just out of control, my friend. Now the countdown has started. One of these two players, after a rough best of 5, will go on to the finals. Who will it be? Will it be Optimus, formerly known as Polt, on the left, a GSL champion, or the underdog on the right, OGS Top, who has yet to get to a finals and wants it so badly? We're going to find out soon. I'm Tasteless. With me is Artosis, and this is the GSL Code S. We're going to have to start using Biore strips, man. They zoom in way close to the nose. The players on here, I'd be way too nervous to get a shot like that in my face. In the upper right, we have our player formerly known as Polt, now a Transformer. He is
Optimus Prime V.
Optimus Prime. I think I've mangled the Optimus Prime voice.
Yeah,
every time I do it, now it becomes Sean Connery just doing it. Whoa, that's a great drawing.
Yeah, it is.
2 Marauders in the background.
Marauders don't need to morph in anything, though.
Yeah. Let's give him roller skates. Close enough to a Transformer. In the bottom left, our underdog, the Macro Terran from the team OGS. He is
OGS
Top. All right. We are going to zoom in on this person over here. All right, now we're going to look at Optimus, or Top, rather.
Now, what will Top opt to do this game?
Ooh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Will Top do the ultimate?
Will he bolt
build?
up Polt's ramp?
I don't know.
Who knows? We'll see.
So the map is a one-on-one map, and note the map is taller than it is wide, so we can get into these situations where the map is cut in half, top versus bottom, with turrets and siege tanks.
But in this case, of course, it's going to be Top against Optimus.
Is that what I said? Did I bungle that?
No, you said it could be Top versus bottom.
Oh, I see what
I'm like, but bottom has already been eliminated in Code B.
You're like using jokes only my grandpa would giggle at. I love
you. Your grandpa has a great sense of humor, Tasteless.
He's a charming fellow. So, Marine almost out now. And when the Marine's out, then you got to get out of the other guy's base. Mm-hmm. Not going to get too much more intel. And it looks like right now they're both electing so far to go for middle of the road, 1 gas builds.
Well, it looks like Top actually has taken his SCVs off gas after chasing Optimus's SCV out. So it looks like he's just going to go for a fast expansion here.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Little bit of trickery going on.
A little bit of tomfoolery.
Yeah, man. Well,
few cat and mouse games going on in the middle of the map.
Optimus is getting that second gas, so we're definitely going to see some tech up from him.
Now,
could it be Banshee with Cloak? Could it be Blue Flame Hellion drop? What do you think, Taste?
I think if it's Banshee, then Top could be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to get that command center a little bit later, get the gas up, the gas step up a little bit later because of the weird timing of the faking of the build.
And in fact, Top has timed it out to get a little bit more gas and get his factory really quite quickly as well. And there we go, the second gas coming up as well. Well, we do have the starport on the way. Reactor on the barracks. That may be just for Marines. Starport will probably be for some Banshees. Probably get some cloak in there as well. There goes the tech lab, so you can land on it with the starport.
Quiz time.
Quiz time.
Harpies or Centaurs? Go.
This is like actually a dumb question. Centaurs are way better. Harpies are actually just like the annoying thing.
Harpies
and they're always evil. Centaurs can be evil or they can be good. Harpies are never good.
That is such a good insider, Tasteless.
Yeah, no, I know all about this stuff, Tasteless.
All right, hold on.
I am a warlock.
You are a warlock, right? They make him take his warlock.
When you climb up the mountain to get to my warlock tower, there are caves with harpies in them, and they are evil. I don't necessarily have that much to do with them. I don't actually employ them, but they are evil, and they live in caves on the mountain that goes up to my tower.
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
It's a quaint, nice place. You want him to move out of that neighborhood? He's a warlock, goddammit.
Yeah.
Let him be who he wants to be. Do what he wants to do.
I tell you, they annoy me at times as well, but they turn away some of the weaker nub knights that try to come and get me, Tasteless, so I let them be. So we do have Cloak on the way, and Blue Flame was just canceled here.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is... Well,
by the way, as you can see here...
and in fact, he canceled Cloak as well. A lot of mind games going on, Tasteless. In fact, he's getting Siege mode instead, so we might actually see one of these timing attacks with just a Banshee or two, but also medevac.
This is so Optimus. Is that he has a lot of one-base TBT builds that actually work.
He certainly does, Tasteless. He is a micro god, one of the best micros in the game without doubt. I think he doesn't actually get enough credit for that. Of course, his macro is quite good, his strategies are good, but he really relies on his micro a little bit more than most top-level pros because that's not really something you want to rely on too much.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fickle thing. But he does a great job with it.
We're going to find out later that, in fact, Optimus just didn't know you can make other command centers. He's like, what? He's like, you mean my opponent wasn't landing the one from his main to his... What?
It almost seems like that at times.
I know, such a one-base Terran. Okay, here comes his one-base Terran. But if you guys are new to the, well, in StarCraft 2 in general, you almost never see one-base timing attacks in turn for Terran. But this guy gets away with it. He's a champion. And people know about it. They have a hard time stopping it.
They do indeed. Now, we do have from top, he is getting Siege mode. He's getting his Siege tanks. He has his Raven and getting Vikings. So the fact that this push is taking a while to get there, the fact that he didn't hit the timing just as Siege finished, is going to make it a little bit harder. He's not going to be able to do quite as much damage because of this. He's going to have to kill that bunker, then go over and get some sort of contain on, but Top is going to have that Siege mode ready.
Top does have a Raven now. This Banshee does not have Cloak, so it's not useful in that sense, but an auto turret could be thrown down. Uh-oh. Siege tank not exactly in position here for Top.
And here we go. See if he can actually get this taken out, and 2 Vikings out for both players. One of the Vikings sniped off. Beautifully done.
Tank.
Oh, beautiful move.
Oh my God.
And he just controlled perfectly there, Tasteless. Actually, as far as flying units goes, Top should have won that, but Polt saw an opening, went in there, sniped a Viking, went up, sniped the siege tank, and now he has a commanding lead.
Taking out the 2 depots up here would be huge. The potential of a supply block is up and coming right now. In fact, now he is supply blocked.
This is a very annoying situation for Top.
Actually, he is not quite supply blocked. That's actually Optimus. Excuse me. Now with this depot, okay, now Top is supply blocked.
And with these siege tanks there, look at that, taking out the reactor, that takes a long time to make. Right now, Top just adding some more barracks in his main base. He's down on siege tank count. He's having a hard time things. There we go. Point defense drone going up. Beautiful move by Top. But the Marines are coming up.
And the Banshee now going for the siege tank, but just barely taking out the time.
Oh, and Top wins the Battle of the Air, and that's a really big deal. Notice Optimus immediately moving backwards, realizing, uh-oh, he has more dragons than I have. I'm sorry, I was thinking of earlier in my tower.
The Warlock Tower you have.
All the medieval things that I do.
Now look at this. The point defense drone is actually doing a great job here.
It certainly is.
He's got to be careful. Losing that Viking, losing any air control at all is just bad right now for Optimus. Whatever air control he still has left, which is just a semblance of one.
Well, he's still got a really great contain on his opponent. It's going to be very hard to push down that ramp and actually get into that siege tank range. that nice scan. He's going to be able to take out that Siege Tank because he does have 2 in the row. Notice his row, it's beautifully done so that he can't just be picked off. Even if he doesn't get the first hit, he just has more Siege Tanks.
Nice kiting here with that one Viking. Note he does have a second one he hasn't really brought in yet. Kind of waiting to see. All right, there it is. And then a Banshee. Are you kidding me?
That alive.
Yes, he gets it. Very nice. The Banshee was pivotal in taking out those Siege Tanks.
Now, the funny thing is, Top actually has more supply at the moment, but that's all in SCVs. He has actually 10 more SCVs than his opponent, but the Siege Tank count is what really matters in the positioning. Optimus is just killing him as far as positioning is going. And in fact, one thing Optimus should know to do very shortly here is to actually unsiege and move back.
Yeah.
You should not overcommit to this.
You don't have to keep your army there forever. You actually can run away, or you can run in there with your Marines and have them all die. It's, all right.
That was an interesting auto turret thrown down. But as we see, he does have units at home, but he doesn't want to lose the units he has up there, or the game's going to go back to very close to even.
He needs to keep his Siege Tanks live, and one goes down. Now the Marines go down. Optimus is completely botching whatever position he had here. I don't know what the hell is going on, Artosis.
Well, it looks like Top is, in fact, going to break out and have a much higher supply. And this is a huge mistake that we have seen here from Optimus.
He did get that one shot up the Siege Tank. That was nice target firing.
That was a little bit sloppy by
this
Top.
Is terrible rallying.
As we see, the supply, 10 more for Top. And Optimus has given up that big advantage he has. You always have to pull back your contain eventually. The contain is not actually going to win you the game. It's going to get you far ahead, but it should not be there when the guy says GG. And if it is, he's terrible, and you would have won anyways.
All right. Now, Optimus, I hate it when these guys change their IDs. Optimus now taking the high ground outside of his expansion, so it'll be pretty tough for Top to push. And on the Terran vs. Terran on this map, it's sort of a debatable thing. Do I really want to set up a contain outside of the low ground of my opponent's expansion's high ground?
Well, right now, both players adding some factories on, realizing they need a lot of Siege Tanks out there. And that's good to see from Optimus. He is such a Marine Marauder guy. The fact that he's actually making some Siege Tanks on this map that Marine Marauder really shouldn't be that good on means well, Tasteless. It's a good thing.
It is.
And right now, Optimus actually going to lose a Siege Tank. Look at this.
Optimus
a little bit
is
slow
really
to react.
falling apart here. Now he needs to get this Banshee so badly. It's at about 1/3 health, now 1/5. But I have to say, it looks like he's really closing in on his opponent. Top is to Optimus. I think it's sort of an unusual move to push in this position, but if it's working, it's working.
You know, he's got more Siege Tanks, he's got more Marines. The only thing Optimus is winning on is SCVs, and that's just by a few with 52 to 46.
And guys, what Artosis said earlier was correct. Had Optimus turned back and given up the position once he knew he was ahead, that's all he had to do. Now, interestingly enough, Top is going to go ahead and take the center right gold expansion, which means more minerals.
Well, Optimus has a lot of Marines out here. They have Stim, they have combat shields, Tasteless. Nice engagement here, but he does. It's a little bit crazy right now with the Siege Tank there.
What is Optimus doing?
I don't know. I feel like he always thinks he's ahead in every way, and it's just it's actually not the case.
High-fived at that moment.
They certainly did.
And they're all GSL fans, like are all Transformers.
Top is basically Starscreech right now, Tasteless.
He is.
I don't know why he is, but he is. It's my favorite of the
Well, if you look at Top, the notion of him screeching ever is kind of a funny image. But, well, here's the problem now, guys, is Top took a bold move. He took the gold base, as we see here. And frankly, Top has map control. This position controlled here in the direct center. It's going to be tough for Optimus to move in there.
Yeah, and you know, right now he has that gold base. He's dropping all his mules there. His income is going to fly past Optimus in a moment here. And with it, his supply should as well. You know, he's very great at macro. He's doing a very good job. He has some nice zoning defense around the map. You know, just everything looks great for Top right now. Optimus, I feel like he's not given the proper due respect to Top.
Uh-oh. Banshee coming in here now to Optimus's main at the exact same time. Optimus is moving out, and this is going to mean a lot less SCVs unless Optimus can pull a rabbit out of his hat. A rabbit with
some Marines out of his barracks.
Yeah, one of the two.
Both are quite easy to do, Tasteless. You buy a magic book, you can pull a rabbit out of a hat.
You pull a very unhappy rabbit out of the hat.
Yeah, out of a very smelly hat.
A very smelly rabbit hat with rabbit crap in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A rabbit crap.
Pellets.
Yeah, little round balls.
All right, now we have a drop coming up here from Top, but Top is handling this basically perfectly, guys.
Yeah.
He's doing what Optimus didn't do, which is just keep a position, then give it up when he doesn't need to hold it anymore.
Exactly.
He's dropping here now. Now, if he gets out of here with a Medic Marine or Medevac and Marines, beautiful. And will he?
Maybe not.
All right.
But he does get out with the Medevac. That's really all he cares about. Well, you know, Top, I feel like he is just so completely outplaying Polt. You know, even though Polt had that really great early containment going on, everything is really going well for Top right now. Optimus is just now floating his command center over to the gold base. You know, look at that saturation, man, already.
You know what this game was? It was like if there was a room filling up with water and Optimus was holding Top under it and then drowned him, then he just stayed in the room and let himself drown instead of getting out when the body was dead.
There you go.
And now Top is a zombie. Yeah.
Little Houdini.
Best metaphor in the world. You're welcome. You're
Best
welcome.
ever in the history of time.
I know.
Well, Top is beginning to move forward a little bit, Tasteless.
He is.
Yes, be careful about that.
Uh-oh. Nice medevac control here. Just making sure Top's little drops don't do any damage. Of course, the element of surprise with the mass marine drop here from
and look at that. He's chasing all those units up. In the meantime, Top is getting a nice position elsewhere on the map. I'd love to see, you know, Top actually make something out of this. Look at this. Optimus doesn't really have vision over there. And now he's going to take the high ground. Top is going to have the two high grounds. This is huge.
And you can see right now Optimus panicking. He's realized he actually let his opponent slip in behind his back. And now, look at this. Optimus is sandwiched.
Terrible idea right here. We'll see how much he can actually kill, especially if Top stims and flanks into here. And Top just crushing.
That actually might have been one of the most pivotal moments of the game, sending all those siege tanks in here. Now you can see Optimus trying to clean up these Marines and siege tanks with his own. He does do it, but
it will work.
Cost, really.
Where's the siege tanks, man? He looks like he only has a few out there still, and everything's going Top's way. His supply is getting huge in comparison, 131 to 100. And oh my God!
In Optimus' defense, he actually tear through there. You know what that was brilliant Marines splitting there.
Yeah.
By Optimus.
That is exactly
so
it.
Good.
Completely true, Tastes. Sometimes they just run out of Marines suddenly, and you have a few left. You split them up, and everything suddenly falls apart for the player who has outpositioned you all game long, or most of the game long. Well, it looks like we now have Polt taking a nice position here. Nice, well-placed siege tank right there. Doing a lot of damage to the sieges.
Definitely get its bang for its buck. By the way, nice drop here. Take a look at what Top's doing, guys. See how the Marines are parked away from the planetary fortress? He doesn't need to kill the planetary fortress, just the SCVs mining from it.
Oh, but hold the phone. We have these Marines stimming and run up here. If he can take out a lot of medevacs, that'll always be nice. And a nice spread coming up here. Sieging tanks in the background. He's going to have to pull back. Does not want to lose everything to those siege tanks on the low. And Top just continues to get far more supply than his opponent. 140 to 99 right now. And, you know, this is all because of that nice maneuvering in the middle of the map, getting up onto the high ground, doing the little flankage, even though, you know, Optimus eventually broke through there. Top has just done a better job of moving around the map since after he broke out of the contain.
Well, as you guys can see here, actually, let's be fair, said Optimus is actually doing a really good job of fighting back. He doesn't have the supply, but if he can last and catch up here, and Top has lost some ground here. He initially had almost a complete stronghold over Optimus. Optimus is somewhat back in this. He's not in the lead by any measure because of the extra expansion here, but he's still making some headway.
Well, yeah, you know, that extra base plus the constant harassment at the gold. I can't believe that he hasn't actually dealt with that harassment at the gold a bit better. Optimus is barely mining from his gold, so the income of Top is just so severely above, over twice as big right now. And with that extra base and the fact that Top's macro is really kicking in, he's still up 50 supply. It feels like as long as he can get into some nice positions, he's going to be good to go, man.
All right, he's stimming forward. We need to get a shot of the center battle. He's stimming forward here. And once again, this is where Optimus shines more than any other Terran player, is when he stims and runs with the Marines, and if you notice very carefully, he splits them up.
Yeah.
So the splash damage from the Marines doesn't do as much damage because they're so spread out.
Very true, Tasteless.
And if you look on the minimap, Optimus has a little bit less than 50% map control right now. He's going to push down into this location, and Optimus is continuing to push forward.
He is indeed.
Oh, look at this nice angling here.
He's got to be careful, though. Doesn't want that to get into tank fire.
He needs to shoot down that siege tank. Does do that. Nice look how he spreads that Marines, make sure that they don't take as much damage as they should. Picks up the last second.
And it looks like it is time, Tasteless. Top running forward, but in fact finds out, no, it is not time as reinforcements arrive for Optimus. Top does have to pull back.
And if I could just point out what's actually insane about this is Optimus is doing this at 117 supply. Meanwhile, Optimus is at 173.
Top is
at 173.
But yeah, it's pretty amazing. You know, he's keeping that defensive position with siege tanks, but running around picking off whatever units he possibly can find. And Top is going to have to start thinking about taking another base very, very soon. His gold is drying up.
Top is really feeling the heat right now, and this really goes to show you why Optimus is a champion. Is with less supply, he's taking up more space here. Top's response to that is to load up 2 medevacs and drop into the location, but his sensor tower is already there, so he sees the red blips headed towards his expansion. Will he be able to respond in time? Let's see.
Well, here we go. A nice drop is coming out. Some units are coming back from Optimus, but will they be enough? Taking out the siege tank right away. The 2 medevacs are going to make a big difference. 2 upgrades against 3-2 with Polt in the lead there. And he will, in fact, clean this up and take out 1 medevac.
Says, get the hell out of my base, Top. Top now retracting the medevacs towards his expansion. Optimus now taking the upper left location. Top is almost maxed, which means he may attempt to just smother the forces in the middle of the map of Optimus, and that's going to be a big deciding factor here.
He's pulled these SCVs. He may be using them in a little bit here. Ooh,
he
doing more damage to that siege tank than
Barbarian.
Yeah, but will he use that? No, he's not going to send the SCVs in quite yet. But
I think if there was a moment where Top might want to attack, it would be now because...
Well, he's got to do something pretty soon.
You know what, Artosis? I don't think Top knows that he has a supply lead right now. I think he thinks Optimus is maxed with him. That actually could be the case because the way that Optimus is behaving on the map and the success he's having with it makes it almost look like they're even.
Yeah, one thing we do have to point out, even though he's up by a good 60 supply, 30 of it is in SCVs, so he's only got 30 army supply on his opponent, but that's a huge tank lead, 17-9. And we do have a nice little drop coming over here once again.
This will force the SCVs to evacuate. Some of these being positioned too close to the planetary.
Yeah, just going to chill there. It's very annoying to actually deal with.
And this is smart by Top.
Siege a tank there.
That's exactly what he should do. Just have 1 siege tank, and that's what you got to do. He is such a boss nerd. Get out of my base.
And there we go, another little drop up here, and little things like this, Tasteless, you know, when he loses all these Marines, he just re-adds that supply as siege tanks or Vikings or, you know, something more worthwhile than these extra Marines that he doesn't really need.
Yeah, you're dead on about that, Artosis. By the way, the gold base now for Top is mined out.
Yeah.
If we can get a shot at that in a second here. The gold base is mined out, so that means that Top no longer has his income lead. So we may start seeing Optimus get back in there if he does, or Top rather. Oh, actually, hold that thought. I'm fumbling my speech. Top, make it back. Maybe able to make this still work in this drop.
Well, we have a lot of Marines in here, so he might do a ton of damage to some of these important tech structures. Trying to take out that armory, takes out very, very easily. He does have 3 Marines with stim, so they're going to do a ton of damage right now.
Yeah.
He really should be oh, look at that. That's a gigantic
He's setting
stim.
everything.
And that was a huge mistake. Top sees it. He should be unsieging and stimming and running it with absolutely everything, but the Marines should have had a more forward position there.
Yeah, they're supposed to buffer the damage while the tanks deal it.
Yeah, taking more damage from Optimus' tanks than he should, but Optimus losing his position here massively.
Yeah.
Top actually doing a pretty poor job of breaking it, considering
the supplies are actually evening out. Now you can see Optimus is relocating to the center of the map right now to try to regain this crucial spot, just like a chess game. The center board, the most important location in a matchup like Terran versus Terran, the most scrambling. But is Optimus overextending himself? Let's find out.
He may be. He has a ton of Marines, but not a lot of tanks. These tanks doing a good job, but it looks like he will take them out.
How does he always do this? What the hell is this?
Well, you know what? Top really made some mistakes there, Tasteless. When he broke that siege tank line, he took way too much damage. With only siege tanks there, you can break it oh so easily. As Optimus keeps showing us, you just stim and spread your Marines. The siege tank splash is nullified, and that's what he did to come back once again. But Top is throwing away these huge leads he's gaining through a better unit composition and great positioning.
I think he's just not used to dealing with somebody who's as in your face as Optimus. Again, Optimus still behind in supply, but actually, guys, in position as far as economics go, Optimus is now in the lead. The gold base is mined out, and it's going to be pretty tough for the time being for Top to get an additional base here. But Optimus may have overextended himself.
Huge mistake there, losing Siege Tanks for absolutely free. And look, he's going to lose even more. This is really, really bad for Optimus. Right now, the Siege Tank count, Tasteless, which is just so important to take a look at, is 2-10 in Top's favor. Against 2 Siege Tanks, you can literally just Siege Tank push across the map, leapfrog them, just push them right up.
Leaps and bounds.
Leaps and bounds, Tasteless, but very slowly. And, I mean, that's going to be a situation that's going to be just so hard for Optimus to stop.
Now, one thing Optimus does have going from his mobility, it's mostly Marines and medevacs right now. Which seems to be the way he likes to play this matchup with just a few Siege Tanks. Now, very nice here, just getting in the way of these Marines. He will get this medevac too.
And Top is going to secure another base. Indeed. And nice spreading by Optimus. Wow, really nice spreading so far, but Top has enough Marines
he just has
to hold that ground.
Yeah.
And Top is just, his position is too good at this point.
Top has done what I thought he wouldn't be able to do, actually, which is take the center right location, not the gold, but the blue one slightly above that. And if he holds that, it's going to be very tough for Optimus to stay in this.
Well, it looks like Optimus at this point, he is being suffocated out as this high ground position is gained. That is actually going to put the stranglehold onto Optimus, because there's only one expansion no one's mining from right now, and he's not going to be able to get there.
All right, now Optimus, I think, has made too many consecutive errors in a row here. Too many engagements he shouldn't have won. Another stim, though, running in here. But I think at this point in time, what are the upgrades on the Siege Tanks, Artosis?
We got +2 on
Okay, that's why. GG.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Tasteless.
Damn, what a back and forth.
You know what? Optimus outplayed Top in the early game,
but
blood. Yeah, that's some watered down blood right there.
That is some water. Well, you know, he can't afford. He hasn't won a championship yet. He can't afford all the nerd blood he needs, so he's got to put some water in his.
He mixes his
nerd
it
blood
up a little bit.
Now you could see the adrenaline going through Optimus there, because Optimus actually was doing a pretty damn good job, considering he was behind for most of that game.
Yeah,
Top barely broke through in the last 5 minutes.
Well, that's one of the things when you have a player that focuses a little bit more on micro. He's going to win some more battles that he shouldn't win. But while he's winning these battles, Top is making great broad stroke moves. You know, he's positioning just right. He's keeping up his macro. He's keeping his strategy strong. Optimus is just kind of winning a lot of small fights that, you know, eventually they could build up into something. But a lot of times a player like Top is just going to carry this advantage that they kind of have all game long, keeping their macro up, keeping their positioning up, into a victory.
You know, if we could just go back to the start of that game, because I think that's where the story for at least Optimus is really told. Is he had this great contain, but when you have a contain like that, you need to know when you can leave.
Yeah,
like losing 3 or 4 Siege Tanks like that. I can't even
explain.
The Viking, the few Marines, and a lot of people would think that's not a lot. In the start of the game, as far as in a position-based matchup,
infinity.
A really good player, he knows that exact moment, and he unsieges, packs his bags, and just goes to a better position. And that's what Terran vs. Terran at a really high level is you unsiege, you move to a different part of the map, you control there, then you pack up the bags, move to another spot. It's constantly changing. You don't just hold it till the last unit, the last Siege Tanks there, which is actually what he did. There was like one Siege Tank just getting shot.
Yeah, he was way ahead.
Big mistake.
And then Top became ahead because he didn't move back. If he had just retreated, which is something you have to learn in tank versus tank. Eventually you have to retreat, and he did not do that. If he had, I think he would have won that game.
And I think Optimus knows that in retrospect. I think he knew that right when it happened. He thought, oh, crap. Well, we're going to go on to game number 2. Top, the underdog, is already up 1 game. Optimus, the champion, is down 1. Who's going to come back? Our map is Terminus Re. Let's see who pulls through with a win in this next game. Terran vs. Terran. Optimus Prime against OGS Top here at the GSL Codas based in Seoul, Korea.